So there's that kind of fork, but pitchfork, the devil. Why does does he have a pitchfork?
Why does he have a pitchfork?
Poke you in the ass.
Hello and welcome back to the Croak and Croak podcast. I am Spencer Cartier.
I am Ribbit.
Ribbit?
What's the name of the frog on the cereal box?
For Corn Smacks?
Whatever the frog is.
Corn Smacks?
Used to be Sugar Smacks.
And then what happened?
People didn't like the word sugar.
Oh, I love Corn Smacks. A lot of people don't. They say it's too bitter. I say it's not bitter enough. No, I think
they
it's
say
perfect.
It's bitter?
Yeah, it has that little like bittery taste.
Like a burnt-ish?
Yeah, burnt is a better word. But I love it nonetheless.
Okay.
And this here is Frank rocking his Philadelphia 76ers hat. Shout out to the Sixers. What's up, guys? It is Wednesday. Wednesday the
25th.
Wednesday the 25th. August is coming to an end. I was outside today and I felt a little something in the air. And that feeling was the end of summer.
Really? Because you felt that for a while. No, wait. You actually made the statement about it's not the end of the summer.
It is the end of the summer. Oh, what do you mean? August?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, Dave Portnoy made it before May, but August is not the end of the summer. It's prime summer. So what does that mean for September? We found out what day Labor Day was on. September 5th? Yeah, let's say that.
It's the 4th.
Let's say that.
It's the 4th.
Because that's the Monday. What did you do this weekend? I'll tell you what I did.
Okay.
What did I do this weekend? Oh, I went to the beach. It was raining. But I enjoyed it anyway. I just like the environment. I like being on the boardwalk. I went to the arcade. Played those crane games. I grew up playing these crane games, as you know.
Tell your story. I'll be right back.
Where are you going?
I have to get something.
Okay. I grew up playing crane games. I was addicted, if you will. And anytime I go into a Walmart or in I don't know, where else are they? A Buffalo Wild Wings. I would always play, and I'm very good. I'm probably the best person you've ever known. But if you guys go to the boardwalk crane games, they're impossible. They're cheating you. So don't play them. I know myself. I know my skill level, and I know when a crane game is cheating. And not once has a boardwalk crane game worked for me. And so yeah, I'm boycotting them, but I still get addicted. I play over and over and over again. And I don't like gambling, but that is my vice. That is my gambling vice, is crane games.
Have you ever seen the really, really big ones? I see them in like Japan or something.
I won one.
What?
How big are you talking?
I'm talking big.
I thought you meant like those big prizes.
Oh, no. You won so many times.
I did. The glory days.
Yep.
So you're going to share with the class what you got?
Not yet.
Oh.
It is Wednesday, August 25th, which is National Banana Split Day.
Now, what is a banana split? Is that just banana on ice cream?
Well, it was created in 1904 by...
You always feel like you're doing a school project
every
time you bring up a topic.
It was created in 1904 by, you know how ice cream and soda used to be in the pharmacy?
Yeah. You go to the pharmacy and share a milkshake with your gal.
You sit at the bar, which was one of our shows. Yeah. And it says that he... Oh, no. Okay. I thought it was saying it was double the size of a regular sundae, but it's not. It was just double the price.
Just for throwing a banana in there?
I guess. But guess what? It was so popular with the college crowd that students willingly paid 10 cents. So what is it? I'm not really a sweets person, but I think you take one banana, cut it in half.
Okay.
So it's the two halves of the banana are laying on like a hot dog kind of cardboard thing.
Okay.
And then you put ice cream, and then you need toppings like
whipped cream.
Yeah, but first you need like a syrup, maybe a chocolate sauce or a caramel sauce. Yeah, then you whip cream, then the cherry. Yeah, the whole point is the banana, but it is more though, because like I think it's like 3 scoops of ice cream.
Yeah, I don't know. Does anyone even still have them? Like, can you go anywhere for a banana split?
Can you? Yeah, of course. What do you mean?
Really?
Probably have them on the boardwalk.
Probably.
Yeah, banana splits. We used to have a little rhyme when we were young. And a banana split. Something like that.
You guys sure were clever back in the day.
You know, all those
Double Dutch.
Yeah, but even, I think they were more like the hand clapping games. There's a Bob's Burger episode where they all have a rendition of it. You know, like Yankee Doodle went to town and he, you know, something. And then the next guy would come in and goes, oh, that's how you used to say it? We used to say it like this. You know what I mean? And you used to say it this.
Like patty cake or something.
It's not patty cake. It's like Blondie and Dagwood went downtown. Blondie bought an evening gown. It was like TikTok before TikTok. We had to make up the lyrics and stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So banana split. Neither one of us are really banana split people, so I didn't bring any banana split for us.
I would have turned it away. I feel like it's kind of also like not the most appetizing thing to eat. It's messy, isn't it? You don't use your hands?
You use hands. You use a spoon, or maybe you use a fork.
Okay, guys, it's Wednesday, which means it's One Word Wednesday, and I pray that the word is not fork.
The word of the day. This is a plastic, so you can't say. How do you feel about single-use plastic? We might really get burnt up for this.
Canceled. We gather all the single-use plastic and we keep it at our house so that no one else can use it.
Or somebody kept picking them up at Wawa. This is single-use plastic, which is frowned upon today. You can't see it against Frank's shirt. Frowned upon.
It's frowned upon because of the waste.
The environment.
It's a waste of plastic.
You use it one time, you throw it away. They said every one you've ever used still exists. Still exists. But here's some forks. You could eat a banana split with a fork. Normally you use a spoon for ice cream.
Yeah.
The fork you would need like
to break through that tough banana.
Top banana. Yeah, we're going to say fork today. What time is it? Yeah, we have plenty of
That's
time.
our word?
Yeah, fork.
Why?
Why? Because it's in the Bible.
Like a fork in the road? I'm trying to.
You know what? When in your spiritual journey, you're often faced with forks in the road where you have to choose.
Okay, well, we can talk about that, but is that it?
Oh boy. Well, if you just go on BibleGateway.com.
Shout out Bible Gateway. They are our unofficial sponsor.
Yes.
Because they don't pay us, but we support them.
They'll pay us one day.
We don't need their money.
Yeah.
We should pay them.
Okay. There's seven. There's seven? Yeah. No, there's 13 forks. There's 13 entries of forks in the Bible. Can you believe it? And yet, with all that said, back in the day, some strong Catholics or Christian Catholics wanted to ban the fork. Supposedly, it's hard to. Some historians are like, it's really hard to track down where this came from, but they have old literature saying that. You know how Muslims are like, how dare you try to recreate what God has created?
Okay.
So you can't like paint a flower or whatever.
Yeah.
It was like that, and it was saying that our hands are our forks. So why are you being so hoity-toity to use a fork? Because I think at the time it was like gold forks and stuff. It was very like this, and it kept being referred to as an excessive delicacy.
Those excessive delicacies. You and your fancy fork.
And so we have natural forks.
How do you feel about eating with your hands?
Terrible.
You don't like it?
Mm-mm.
I like it. I like eating with my hands.
Hands, yeah. I don't mind my hands because I know my hands are clean.
Why would you be eating with someone else's hands?
I don't want to be fed. No, I
preparing food?
I like watching the street food on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I scroll through those stories. And the people are just grabbing some onions and throwing, but you're
like cooking. Oh, you mean like once the cooking's done?
Yeah. I'm gonna have to say the place. It's India, and they have and everything looks delicious. But in my kitchen, because they are just reaching in and quickly making.
Now you have to imagine in all of the countries that primarily use their hands to prepare food. Do you think their immune system's stronger?
I was going to look that up, but I just didn't ever get around to it.
I'm going to say it's a double-edged sword, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to say their immune system's longer, but they get bigger problems, if that makes sense.
their immune system's stronger.
But they get bigger problems. And what I mean by that is, I am no scientist, and this is the loosest fact I'm going to give today. But I imagine if you grow up in cultures where everything is not as sanitized, you aren't going to catch the common cold. But there might be an influx then of like, you know, parasites and worms, all that gross stuff.
Yeah.
That would make sense, right?
You just made it up though.
I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. But since it's so strange, since it's so unusual to me, you always see gloves or you see people using spoons and so forth. Just to see people's hands in there, I prefer the forks. Now,
when I originally brought it up, I meant like sometimes you'll see somebody and they'll be eating a pizza with a fork and knife.
I'm not against it actually, but I'm good either way.
I like using my hands.
Yeah.
To be one with my food, like chicken wings.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like boneless chicken wings. You defeat the purpose. You use one of these, you pick up your boneless, your breaded nugget. No.
Well, it saves on washing and on waste, but. I don't know. It really depends, I guess. There's other street food. Japan, I just saw their street food. They have these like raw eggs and raw beef, but they're so incredibly careful about how the chickens are like clean or whatever, and then they even like treat it with UV light and everything.
I know, it's crazy. The what is that dish of just raw beef?
Oh, tartare.
Steak tartare. When I found out that, like, for some reason, I don't know, I thought maybe I'm thinking of pork or something. Mm-hmm. I was like, it never made sense to me until I learned that you can eat this meat raw. Mm-hmm. But it's a breeding ground. Like raw meat is a breeding ground for bacteria. So if bacteria gets on it, which it can in the process, so as long as you're very careful from butcher to plate, you can eat it right. I thought it was like you were dancing with the devil every time you ate steak tartare.
No, you can do that. And you can eat raw eggs if, it depends on how they were handled before they came to you.
Yeah.
So in the Bible, there are references of forks. There's 13 references in the New International Version on Bible Gateway.
Mm-hmm.
They're talking about regular forks, not forks in the road. They're talking about, there's a lot of meat burnt offerings. So the priests had special forks.
Wow.
And so that's written about in the Bible. And then in both Matthew and Luke, sort of again the same paragraph, the same verse almost to the point, is they both mention his winnowing fork in his hand. He will clear the threshing floor, gathering his wheat into the barn and burning up the chaff with unquenchable fire. So obviously they're talking about Jesus, God. Yeah. And but they're using references. So the winnowing fork is kind of like a farmer's pitchfork.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that kind of fork, but pitchfork, the devil. Why does he have a pitchfork?
Why does he have a pitchfork?
Poke you in the ass.
No, there's nothing more than that.
Why is the devil pictured with a pitchfork?
Yeah, portrayed.
I think. Okay, I have no idea, so I'll take a guess.
Okay. Well, I took a guess on why. Yeah. The immune systems of eating with your hands, and I imagine that my guess is a lot more uneducated.
Okay, so it's not uneducated because also I just saw babies in Sweden are nap outside in the cold.
Oh my!
They're bundled up. They said they even do it sometimes in Russia. You bundle the baby up, you put him in the stroller, and you put him out on the porch.
That happened for
the immune system.
Yeah, but what about animals? What if a coyote comes?
Oh, I think it's like if you're in a condo or something.
Still, I don't know.
Yeah,
put a baby in a warm little.
I wouldn't do it.
Warm little room.
I wouldn't do it. I disagree with it. But you're the one that said build up their immune system.
I didn't say it was good. I was just saying I wonder if they get the what's it called when you eat bad food? Food poisoning. Less. Oh. That's all.
Okay, so I'm going to take a guess about the pitchfork.
Okay.
So the hell is always hot. Fire, right?
Fire.
And the tending the fire that never goes out, everlasting fire. You're going to burn for eternity. And a fireplace has the fork and it has the bellows, and you are always stoking. So if the devil's domain is fire, he's going to have a pitchfork, and P.S. he will stab you with it.
Skewer you.
That's all I can think. But is he walking around like that? Probably not.
Yeah, I wonder, this might not be information you ever find. I wonder what, like, the first biblical devil portrayed with a pitchfork was.
Pitchfork horns, a pointy tail, like a dragon.
Yeah, I would like to, I'll do my doctorate on it.
Okay.
Is the portrayal of the devil over time, because it doesn't really ever describe him in the Bible.
No?
No. In like Dante's Inferno and something, like literature like that, sure it describes him. I don't know, I never read it.
Which wasn't hell frozen in Dante's Inferno? Well, one of the hells.
Yeah.
Okay.
7 layers of hell. But yeah, I would like to. I think I'm gonna do my doctoral thesis on portrayal of the devil throughout the centuries.
Okay.
And I'll write a book. It'll be called Portrayal of the Devil over the.
I thought that was what it was going to be called.
Yeah, but that's
So we'll go back to the fork in the road.
Fork in the road. What's a fork in the road? Fork in the road is when you're walking and then the road splits 2 different ways, and you got to make a choice.
Okay.
You can't go down both. And usually, especially in the Bible, or not the Bible, in walking a spiritual path, people will often compare the 2 paths as the easy earthly path and then the narrow path that is harder to live. But showed off my leg. I'm wearing shorts again, guys. I can't even show them. Just take my word for it. So fork in the road, which I don't know. I feel like people always paint spiritual lives in such a negative way. It's always like, there's the beautiful road of enjoying life,
right? And
then there's the tough, rocky, terrible, tumultuous. Is that a word? Tumultuous path of spirituality.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why can't that be the nice life? Why can't that be the rewarding life? Because I think it can. I think it might be the nicer path.
Also, I find that and you're right, that is how it is portrayed, and it's always often portrayed as this or that. You can get with this or you can get with that. Right. So if there's a fork in the road, you got to take the right path. Why can't you go back? Like it's like there's a fork in the road, and once you go down there, does it get barricaded behind you?
Yeah.
Because that doesn't open you up to making the mistake and wanting to come back and choose your own adventure. Like we talked about those books before. How you go back, you start over because you're like, I want to see what would happen if I went.
Or sometimes in choose your own adventure, because I would like cheat through them sometimes. You might have one way go this way, and then you go from here. All right, I'm gonna try to compare it like this. You can go from 1 to 2, or the one path might go 1, 3, 5. That brings you back to 2. Does that make the numbers? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it might take longer, but then you end up at the same point in these choose your own adventure books. And I think the same is with life.
I see that there was a Bible passage on fork in the road.
Fork in the road.
It's Ezekiel 21:21.
Okay.
For 2021. Even though it's 21, so we have to wait another
100 years.
100 years. For the king of Babylon will stop at the fork in the road, at the junction of the 2 roads, to seek an omen. He will cast lots with arrows. He will consult his idols. He will examine the liver. So it looks like a superstitious.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wait a few weeks on that walk through Thursday.
Yeah, I don't know if we can. Well, I guess we can. The whole thing is just repeating superstition.
Yeah, once we get better.
Because
to grow.
Well, just quickly though, the king of Babylon is at a fork in the road, and he doesn't know what to do beyond. What is this runes tell me? What does this sticks tell me? What is the bird's liver tell me? Where we are saying God will tell you. God will lead you. God will. You don't have to do the superstitions. You don't have to roll the dice or flip the coin. Yeah.
I know there's a little trick I learned. This is flipping the coin, but if you have a 2 options in front of you, and you're like, I don't know what to pick. You say, I don't know what to pick. flip a coin, and then while it's in the air, subconsciously, and you can kind of notice it, you'll be rooting for one.
Oh.
So try it out. If you ever have two different things, flip heads or tails, heads this, tails that, flip it, and you're kind of like heads.
Okay.
Then that's the one you want.
Oh, interesting.
I think you're supposed to do this with somebody in the moment. Maybe if you know it, it doesn't work as well. Like if you came up to me and said,
okay,
I don't know if I should have potatoes or carrots for dinner.
Right.
And I'll be like, all right, heads is potatoes, tails is carrots. And I'll flip it. And then you stop it. And it's like, which one were you rooting for? And it's easier to say heads than it is to say carrots.
Right.
A little food for thought. Little potatoes and carrots for thought.
That you eat with a fork.
I eat with my hands.
But you don't.
I don't. I guess when I say I like to eat with my hands, I think what I am saying is I just like finger foods.
Oh, you're thinking of the actual food, not...
No, like I would never eat...
You don't care
like,
about the utensil.
No, I would never eat like a pasta dinner with like my hands.
Yeah.
But I like little, pigs in a blanket.
Okay.
And little finger sandwiches. Wings.
That's funny.
Yeah. I like all that stuff. But no, yeah, I'm not eating potatoes with my hands or meat.
No.
Messy. But I like wings. That's meat. Moving on.
Meat, yeah.
How do you feel about sporks?
I don't like them, but I understand there's a need for them.
I don't like them. Why? What is the need for them?
When you need a fork and a spoon.
When?
When you're eating something that needs to be stabbed and also scooped.
What? Because my problem with the spork, I have a real bone to pick with sporks. The fork's not good enough and the spoon's not good enough.
No, that's true.
The fork's not good enough for pasta.
The spoon is compromised.
The spoon's not good enough for soup.
Right.
And so, like, the one time I use it is, what is it? KFC's, like mashed potatoes. It's because they give it, and I guess that works. Probably would just be just as good with a spoon. Sporks, I don't even know if they have them anywhere, but I think they're the worst.
And I guess if we had to, if someone had to choose only, you would always choose a spoon. So maybe the fork is an excessive delicacy. What was it called?
Yeah.
Excessive something.
I agree. Yeah, you'd always choose a spoon.
Yeah, because you can use a spoon for everything, and well, not for the stabbing, but
what would you need the stabbing for? Because if you had to lose one, then you would use your hands.
Spaghetti would be hard with spoon only. Spaghetti would be hard with spoon only.
What would be hard without a spoon?
What would be hard without a spoon?
Yeah.
Oh.
Soup, like maybe you could slurp it.
True. Maybe I was wrong.
The one thing I would say would be cereal. But you'd have to just say goodbye to cereal, I think.
No, you could do cereal with the fork, and then, like you said, same slurping.
Okay. All right. Look at that change up. Spoon, you're gone.
What do you vote for? Fork or a spoon?
This is the Fork Podcast, and we're choosing the fork.
You know what I like? These roadside attractions.
Roadside attractions?
Yeah, like the largest ball of twine.
Speaking of, we had a podcast on Billy Graham.
Yeah.
And we found out where the museum from
library. Yeah, well, museum. It's called the library, but it's the museum. And
that is in North Carolina.
Yes.
So if anyone wants to take a trip, if you guys watch that Billy Graham special, that Friday special, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Check it out. Did you look into it more? What is it?
Well, that is the Instagram I follow.
Yeah.
So if you just go to the Instagram, BG library,
mm-hmm.
you'll see everything. Like they have, they just have a lot of like things about him, like when he first started or where he lived, or that was his Bible, that was his chair. But they also have like, just think of like Natural History Museum in Philadelphia. Like they have Bible scenes recreated.
Okay.
It's like that. Like.
Okay. So it's not all about Billy Graham.
No, there's a lot of Bible stuff.
Okay. Sorry. So roadside attractions?
Yeah. In Philadelphia, you ever see the paintbrush?
I have seen the paintbrush in Philadelphia.
Big giant paintbrush. In Missouri, Springfield, Missouri, they have a big giant fork. Big giant fork in the ground.
What's that statement piece? Because isn't like the paintbrush right near an art building?
I think so. But there's I like the roadside attractions that mean nothing.
Yeah. Like what does the Chicago bean mean?
Oh, I don't like that.
Why?
I don't like it because when you take, so it's
the smudges
generation of the selfie. And so all these things you put one of these things up, people, because it reflects everything. I don't know. It just bothers me. Okay. I don't know. The bean bothers me.
Bothered by the bean.
I'm bothered by the bean. But, ever see the one with the cars halfway in the ground?
Yeah, like in the desert?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love those things.
Yeah.
Even if it's not, so that's super specific, like a fork in the ground. Yeah. But,
you like the abstract ones?
Well, no, I'm saying even if it's like a goofball restaurant and it's like a windmill or something.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Where's that guy? He's like a axe guy. Isn't there a big thing?
Oh, Paul Bunyan.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in Illinois. I don't know where he's from, but we're probably dumb for not knowing that because I think his name actually goes along. Like I think there's a song for him. If you put a fork in the outlet of the wall, you'll get zapped. Yeah. And I saw this little video and this man was teaching his baby. I guess she was trying to put stuff in there. So he took her doll and he put the doll's hand in the outlet and he was like, and then he spanked the doll and the baby was small. The baby was like 6 months old and she scooted her little diapered bottom away from the outlet because she was
Why don't they just get those little baby plug-ins?
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, there's an
easier way. It's probably just like a little thing.
Easier way to baby proof.
Now, why do they say put a fork in it?
I'm done. What is it? Put a fork in me. I'm done. Or you know that, right?
No.
Oh, you didn't know the second part?
I thought like when you're telling someone to be quiet, put a fork in it. Or am I thinking put a sock in it?
Yeah, no, you're mixing everything up.
Put a fork in it, bud.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's not that. Put a fork in. You say put a fork in me. I'm done, and it's just a way to sign off. And I think well, to me, I always think of forks with meat. And I don't know if I always thought of it as meat. Like you want to see if it's done, it's pink on the inside and stuff. Oh. But it could even be like a cake. And again, easy way to find out is to Google it, which I didn't. But usually a cake, you use like a toothpick or a knife and it has to come out dry. You could do that. So anyway, the saying about putting a fork in it means I'm done. Oh. So put a fork in me, I'm done. Or put a fork. I think it's just me.
I don't know. I thought it was put a fork in it, bud.
No one says that.
Nobody says that?
No.
Not anybody in the world?
No.
Like, hey, pal, put a fork in it. Nah, it's not sounding right anymore.
No, it doesn't sound right at all. You might say, like, I'll put a fork in you. No, it doesn't.
You keep wanting to put forks in people.
That's what it's for.
It's not.
It's to remind you that you're finished.
Yeah. So, when you're at a fork in the road in your life,
you know what? I think forks or are more popular because come to think of it, when in your cutlery drawer, that's the thing that always goes missing first.
Well, no, because forks are more convenient, right? Like for most foods.
Yeah.
Most foods you're eating, you're going to eat with a fork. We're asking the question of if you had to remove one from life. And I think you'll be able to eat more things. Wait, we decided for a fork.
Do you ask for a fork in a Chinese restaurant?
Chinese, yes. Sushi,
Asian, no. Not.
Japanese, no.
In Japanese, are you using chopsticks or you're just...
Chopsticks.
So why the difference?
Right. I can't do the rice with the chopsticks. I can't do the noodles with the chopsticks.
Okay.
I don't really want to like even with when I'm eating like a meal, I use the fork. But if I'm doing sushi, which is like a little piece at a time, I go chop. Actually, I can't imagine eating sushi another way. Like eating sushi with a fork, that sounds in the weirdest way possible. It sounds kind of gross.
Isn't that funny? Just one thing different.
Yeah, and I wonder how off-putting, how off-putting it would seem like to eat sushi with a fork. Mm-hmm. I wonder in Asian cultures why they're so steadfast on still using chopsticks. Is it because that's how they feel with everything? I've only ever eaten sushi with a chopstick, and
I see.
So is that why? Because it's like a lot of people will look at it and say, "Why are you making things harder for yourself?
Right?
Like, why are you still using two pieces of sticks?" But I'm here saying I've only had sushi that way, and I don't even want to think about eating it with a fork. Is that I respect people who were born using chopsticks. You ever see them like eat rice and stuff? How do they do it? I only recently started eating sushi, so I only recently learned how to use the chopsticks correctly. But people that are skilled with the chopsticks,
I always heard that they thought that the metal changed the taste of the food.
Yeah.
You know what also is skilled? I don't know if you've seen this in restaurants where they take a spoon and a fork regular spoon and a fork, kind of bigger ones, and they use it to scoop out. Have you ever seen that?
No. Like they turn it into tongues?
Yes. But it's just the person's hand that did it. So it's the server comes and he's holding the two.
Well, I know what the Italians do with the fork and the spoon.
Yeah, but not that. It's more of a, and they're usually scooping up like rice or noodles or something, and they do into your plate, and it's just their skill.
People are so fancy. All right, just to end off the fork podcast, if you're at a fork in the road, right, you don't know what to do.
Yeah.
What's some advice? How do they know what side to choose?
Well, you look for those signs that say, like on Wizard of Oz, like this way, that way. Which way to choose? Well, just like you said, when you flip that coin, if you flip the coin and you're kind of wishing it's going to fall on heads, that means you know what you want. So at the fork in the road, are you really at a fork in the road, or are you just going against what you know to do?
Yeah, I feel like most times they say fork in the road, and that almost makes it seem easier. Because I think it's like this. You ever walking down the path, and then there's like you're walking down a big old path you're walking this way, and there's this like cool off trail, and you're like, I kind of wonder what's over there.
Yes, I do.
I want to go. Yeah. I think that's more of the, and then you're like, no, I don't know where it goes.
Right.
I'm going to stay on this path. I think it's more like that than usually a fork, and it's not as easy to say, oh, well, you were at the fork and you chose wrong. Right. It's like, you'll be fine if you stay on the road, but hey, wander off once or twice in a good way. Not
all roads.
All roads lead to Rome. Do you know why that is a thing?
No.
Haha! I have a piece of historical advice to end on, and this is a less loose fact. All roads lead to Rome because Rome created the first road system.
Okay.
So quite literally, all of the initial roads being built started in Rome and went outwards.
Really?
So any road you'd get on had started. So obviously it ended once other civilizations were making roads. But in the beginning of the modern, not the modern day, but at the time, the modern day road systems all began in Rome. So any road you got on would lead to Rome. And what better way to end it on that? There was no forks in the road at that time. They all led to the same place.
Right.
Well, that's been our Forks podcast. Let us know if you had to get rid of one from existence. What would you get rid of? A fork or a spoon? And take the road less traveled. If there's a fork in the road, choose the spiritual side. Always. And we'll be back tomorrow for Walk Through Thursday.
Put a fork in us. We're done.
Put a fork in it. Peace.